Hello everyone, my name is Clantis and welcome to my YouTube channel. So I've got two disclaimers. Guys, the first one is that I'm coming up with what feels like cold. So now and again, my voice has a tendency of kind of like jerking and I find myself either choking and coughing. So please do forgive me for that. It's been happening, see, like that. It's been happening a lot during the course of today, and I'm going to take care of it. Trust me, Mad Lemon, I bought like 2 boxes of that. And the second disclaimer that I want to make in this video is that this is a speculation. There are no facts. I've got no evidence. It's just me rubbing my 2 IQs together and sparking some kind of logic in what I'm going to talk about in this video. So I know that yesterday I said that we are not going to speculate regarding the detective that was investigating the Thabo Bester matter, who allegedly deleted himself yesterday. Now, when I was listening to some few details, because I remember I said, once we get some details around his death, probably my brain, because I know my brain has it runs very, very fast. And when it hears things, it has a tendency of saying, oh, wait a minute, something did not make sense here. Let's make sense of it. And that's exactly what was happening. The details that I was hearing, they were not adding up. They were not adding up at all, and I thought maybe let me bring this to my fellow gallery members and let's discuss about it, because I do have a question for you. That which one do you think is most likely was the case in this case? So finally, the late detective's name was revealed today in the newspaper, and his name was 59-year-old Detective Jackson Mkhawulesi. So interestingly, the details that kind of like unfolded today is the fact that the detective was present in the Bloemfontein High Court at Dr. Nandipho Makutumana's judgment for an urgent application. Secondly, I found out that he was promoted about 2 years ago in the position that he currently held until his death. The third thing that I found out about him is that sometime this year, he asked for early retirement. The fourth thing that I found out, which is kind of like murky right now, is that one version of the story says he shot himself in his car, and another version of the story is that he was shot from the outside of the car by himself. So I'm not quite sure on that one what is the truth. Hence, I'm going to ask the question. I hope you would engage in that question as to which is the likely scenario that had happened to this man. So in this video, I want to discuss these 4 things that I discovered about Detective Jackson. First of all, he was promoted 2 years ago to the position he held until his death. And then in 2023, he applies to retire early, but his retirement request is rejected, and he was asked to work at least 2 more years before he can take his retirement, but he was rejected. Now, my question was, okay, wait a minute, you've worked 33 years of your life serving and protecting the public of South Africa. Surely every person that is currently working right now, we all work towards a goal. And some of the goals that we work towards is promotions. Because when you get promoted, you get a title. The title comes with status. The status comes with money. The money comes with respect and comes with all the things that promotions come with. So now the question is, 2 years later, you're coming and say, no, I want to retire early. Why? What is it that pushed him to want to retire early? Okay, let's forget that he is investigating Thabo Bester case. Some people are saying, no, he had like personal issues. Personal issues that will actually want you to retire early? That to me does not make sense at all. The math did not math there at all. But again, we don't know the facts. Now, let's bring in the Thabo Bester matter. Is it possible that he found out something or found people that were involved in the Thabo Bester matter and he thought to himself, This one is not worth my life. Let me rather retire early so that this whole thing will go away. Because we've heard some people have retired early and successfully they were retired early that possibly could have been involved in this whole Thabo Bester network. Because it is a network, if it is not a syndicate of whatever it is that Thabo Bester, Dr. Nandipha Makutumana, and everybody was involved with. And you know what was the cherry on top? Is the fact that Detective Jackson attended the Bloemfontein High Court to hear the outcome of Dr. Nandipha Makutumana's urgent application. Now, a person who is planning to delete themselves, I would assume that you'll be spending a lot of time on your own, thinking, possibly even talking to your higher power or your ancestors and apologizing and seeking for forgiveness and really spending that time and making that final decision that, you know what, am I going to do this or am I not going to do this? And why did he then go and attend as though life is still the same, is still normal for him, goes and attend a court case and then comes back and then enters his vehicle, or he stands outside of his vehicle, pulls out his service pistol, and then blows his brains off? That math as well still was like, well, no, who does that? I've never deleted myself before. Clearly, I don't know what steps one takes to delete oneself. But in common causes like this, people who intend on deleting themselves, they usually leave a letter behind. If they don't leave a letter behind, they usually speak in codes with their loved ones. What codes was he speaking to his wife if he's married, or his girlfriend if he had a girlfriend, or his live-in lover if he has a live-in lover, his kids, his friend, somebody that is close to him? What nuggets was he showing that now people are thinking in hindsight like, hey, hang on, this guy, oh my goodness, I wish I had dug or questioned him further around this. There's nothing about this that you are hearing, and I doubt we are going to hear anything around that anytime soon, especially from his wife, if he has a wife or a child or children that he is close to, because that is how I understand it. People that plan on deleting themselves, they leave nuggets, they leave some kind of parables and for you to read between the lines, and that when it does happen, it hits you like, oh my goodness, he was behaving strangely. But I guess we'll just have to wait for somebody that is close to him to come out to say, yeah, he was acting really strange. But for me, it made no sense that he would attend a court case when he knew that 2 hours later he is going to delete himself. Does that make sense to you? So let's go to the scene where he had deleted himself. Now, there are two stories that I'm hearing. One story says, no, he entered his vehicle and then offed himself. The other version is that he was outside of his vehicle and then he offed himself. Now, my conspiracy. Please tell me which one is highly likely. Is it possible? Is it... Okay, let me start here. I, Clantus Dumagute, does not believe, or I don't believe, that Detective Jackson offed himself. There is foul play here. This is just my opinion. I'm not saying it's a fact. He did not off himself. This man had no plans of offing himself. Somebody who was slick and very smart and planned this meticulously, that nobody, no witnesses, nothing that is going to that are going to witness that act. Now, here's the likelihood what had happened in my head. Indeed, he got out from the police station, went into his vehicle, probably to continue with his investigations, probably going to speak to one of the suspects that he has come across during his investigation. And that suspect probably was told that, hey, during my investigations, your name popped up. So I'm coming to you to seek more clarity on what I found. So probably he was going there. So now we've seen this. Some, not like in real life. Maybe I'm relying a lot from the movies. I don't know. You know, when you enter a car in the parking lot and then you just turn on the ignition and somebody from behind just pops out, either you or, and YouTube. So these days we have to speak in sign language because YouTube is very sensitive with some words. Is it possible that when he entered his car, just when he was about to turn on his ignition, somebody from behind who was hiding in the back seat popped up and blew his brains off? Or, as he was coming from the police station, going into his vehicle, he sees a fellow detective, a fellow policeman, or somebody that he knows standing by the vehicle, and they shake hands. Probably they have a small little conversation. And then just when the detective was about to open his car door, this individual just took out a gun, popped him, took his service pistol, or maybe, I don't know, which weapon was used. Let's start there. Was it his service pistol? Was it a different pistol? All those investigations, which I still doubt that we'll hear the truth around that. But anyways, that's just my conspiracy theory. And maybe this person took the gun, placed it in his hand, and somewhere, somehow, because if you're listening to eyewitnesses, they say they heard a gunshot. Others say they thought it was a car accident. When they turned the corner, there was already a tape cordon off the scene. Is it possible that the person that did that already had that cordon tape, so that immediately the gunshot, he falls down, he starts cordoning off the area? Is that possible? So out of your own two IQs like my own, if you rub them together, what logic comes to your mind? Which of the two scenarios are most likely or highly likely? I think the outside of the car is the highly likely one, because we do see his windshield. I think it's a windshield or the side window. It was shattered and it fell to the ground. I don't know. That's just me. And I'm also asking myself this question: why would a piece of his vehicle still be lying on the streets after forensics were done doing the investigations? Because I would think that piece of his window or windshield would help in the forensics, but it's there on the road for everybody to see. I don't understand that. So now, which leads me to the question: what did he find out in his investigation? Who did he come across in his investigations? Did he communicate with the person that he came across during his investigations? And what power that person holds enough for him to be protected in this fashion, where somebody had to lose their life who was coming for them? The other question that I have, of course, there are buildings and establishments around the area where the detective was, where he deleted himself. Where the CCTV cameras, I bet there are CCTV cameras, and we will be told that those CCTV cameras are just there to basically curb out or scare potential criminals, or they are not working. I think that's what we're going to be told. Oh no, there are CCTV cameras, but during that time when this happened, they were not working, or they were under maintenance, or some excuse we are going to get, or they will remove those CCTV cameras altogether. There is no way that some establishments in South Africa, crime-ridden South Africa, will not have CCTV footages, even on the streets, on the road, by the robots, because I hear the robots are not too far away. What did those CCTV cameras capture? Have they gone and checked what's on those CCTV cameras? Now, this brings me to, because we understand it's not one detective or two, but a team of detectives. If I were y'all, because I believe this is a message to y'all, to say stop it or lose it or do something that is not going to be sufficient evidence in court if ever somebody is pointed out. Now we're talking about the big fish here. If you're a detective and you know what Detective Jackson had, I think you should leak whatever you yourself have found out. Let these people get arrested. Leak, 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 leak. Just leak. I understand that investigations are supposed to be secretive so that the accused does not get an advantage to either intimidate witnesses, tamper with evidence, and things like offing the investigators. Because at the end of the day, investigators' lives, as we can see now, also are in jeopardy if they've been found who these people are that are busy investigating. And who told this individual that it is Detective Jackson that was investigating, unless Detective Jackson himself contacted the suspect? And I also say it again, if you ever came across Thabo Bester and Dr. Nandipha Makutumana, or you are part of the syndicate or network of Thabo Bester and Dr. Nandipha Makutumana, I think this is the best time for you to come forward and plea bargain with the state. They will take you, they will put you under protection, witness protection unit, and protect you from there. But again, you start thinking, isn't it guarded by police? And what if the police themselves are tainted in this network? This is a mess from where I am sitting. Again, guys, this is just me and my own speculations, because the police said they are not going to deal with this matter in the public domain. So, of course, that leaves what? It leaves people like myself who have an overdriven mind to come up with scenarios, speculations, and conspiracy theories. Again, this is just my conspiracy theory. I'm not saying it's a fact. It's just me and my two IQs. I'm rubbing them together, and this is what is sparking out in my head. So come forward. Either you confess, or you give up some information, or you give up names, and then plea bargain if you were involved. Because I do believe that there is something bigger than what we are being presented here. I think stealing of bodies is something that has been happening for a while. I think there is probably other crimes that are being committed by people on the outside, and they're using prisoners as bank. I don't know. So if you know something like this and then investigators are busy investigating, I think you should just blow the whistle. Blow the whistle, ask for protection, and let's get to the bottom of this. So was it a message? I think it was a message to other detectives that if you continue with this foolishness, you'll be next. So I don't know. Again, it's me speculating. So I don't know what your thoughts are. Do leave me a comment down below and let me know what your own conspiracy theories are, or what is your speculation around this, around the death of Detective Jackson. Once again, Detective Jackson, may you rest in peace, and also your family take courage that he was a man that was doing his job when this unfortunate thing happened to him. I still believe that it was not a deletion on deleting himself, but foul play. I believe it was foul play. At least that's what's happening in my head. Foul play. Now, if there's a witness that actually saw somebody walking away from the car, come forward and say, actually, I did see somebody come from the car, or I saw somebody cordoning off the crime scene, I call it, immediately after the gunshot rang. I don't know. For me, the math doesn't math. You got promoted 2 years ago. Now you want early retirement. Your early retirement is refused. And then you go to a court case. 2 hours later, you off yourself. What? Anyways, guys, if you like the video, give it a like. Do leave me a comment down below. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Do share this video far and wide. Also, thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time with a new video. Goodbye.